Hello, accountability buddies. This is Les, and this is Less is More Healthy, and I am quickly approaching episode 70 of this vlog, which feels like another milestone. This is not episode 70, though, because I processed the video and uploaded it this morning. It's 67. Every time I post one of these, I feel a little more accomplished. So, yesterday I said I was going to do a 3-mile walk, because I didn't have to be at work until 2 p.m., I did not do a 3-mile walk because it was over 70 degrees. And I got super sweaty. And I realized I didn't have a cleanup plan in action. Or in place, not in action, in place. I didn't have something ready for action. So I cut the walk short. I did 1.5 miles around Winter Island. I did the outer there's like the walking loop goes around the outside of the island, and there are like little trails cut throughout it, which look like if you had a mountain bike, you could ride a mountain bike on. I don't know if mountain bikes are welcome, but there's no sign saying no cycling. So I think you could mountain bike it, and I might bring my mountain bike out here and do it just for giggles, cause it looked fun. Also found some really cool camping spots on the island, which is cool. But besides that, so yesterday it was in the mid-70s here. Felt like summer. For the rest of the week, we're going to have like today's going to be in the mid-50s. The rest of the week is going to be close to the 70s, mid-70s again. So super warm. And I've got a cleanup plan somewhat in place. And so this is something that I realized over the winter. So excessive sweating is a side effect of one of my medication, or one of the medications I was on. I'm no longer on that medication, which means in cooler weather like this, I'm not excessively sweating. You have a normal amount of sweat. And I also think in the 70-degree weather, I had a normal amount of sweat. But that does mean, I'm putting forth effort, and I need to put forth effort. But that also means discomfort, when I do get sweaty, especially if I'm not wearing workout wear that I've purchased to do these things. And so yesterday I was wearing the sporty drawers, which meant there was plenty of sweat wicking, but I was wearing jeans over the top, which hold in a lot of heat and moisture. Cotton just holds moisture. So, I'm sweating, and the cotton in my denim is just catching all that sweat and holding it, which just meant I was a little uncomfortable. Also, I was not wearing a sports bra, so that caught a lot of sweat and was pretty uncomfortable. And I didn't have anything to clean up with other than the microfiber. I keep microfiber towels on hand for my camera equipment. So I usually have those in the car. So I did wipe down with a microfiber, which worked pretty well. It was pretty absorbent. But because I did cut the walk short, I ended up heading out to Walmart afterwards, grabbing a towel and a package of washcloths. And here's my plan. I plan on having at work shampoo. I'll do like a 2-in-1 shampoo, the towel, so I can wash and dry my hair as well as my body. I might need to pick up another towel because I realized I got the cheap Walmart towel. And it is, I don't know, it's a hand towel. It's called it a towel, a full-size towel, but that is the tiniest, worst towel I've ever bought in my life. So anyway, I might have to go back and get a second towel, because I don't think it's enough to dry my hair. And I don't have as much hair as most women. So the plan is that I'll use the washcloths to wash myself, all the sweaty bits, and then dry off with a towel, and also wash my hair, because I noticed that my head in particular gets very, very sweaty, and that's just going to be a necessity. So that's a thing that's going to happen. And yeah, so that was just sort of like this awkward moment where I realized I was working up a sweat, and I didn't have a plan in place to clean myself. So now I got that in place. I also picked up another thing of sunblock because I forgot to put mine on yesterday because it was in my other backpack. So when I come to the Willows, and I'm at the Willows again today, I don't wear my work backpack. It's just too much weight. So I have a smaller little bag, my Tom Bin cafe bag in small, that I won probably 15 years ago. I've had this forever. It's the Tom Bin bag I've had for the longest. Fantastic bag, really well made, handmade in Seattle, I believe. And just fantastic. So that fits my 2 No Pros and a battery, and it fits a few more things. Like I carry a microfiber in there. It'll hold a small tube of oil-free sunblock for my face. I got a little bit of sun yesterday and then the day before, so I'm tanning up, but I do have a family history of skin cancer on one side of my family, not the other side. So just trying to keep my face from getting cancer. Don't want to get cancer on my face. I did have a friend who had skin cancer on her nose and had to have her nose rebuilt. So not really into that. So I've got a plan in place for cleaning up after work. The other thing that I'm going to do is the setup of the bathroom in my studio is different than the other studios. It's got a multi-stall setup, and one of the stalls is hard to get into because there's a storage unit kind of blocking it, and it's always the stall that I use because none of the kids use it. It's hard to get into. The door is hard to open. So I'm thinking about hanging up a clothesline in there for when I cycle in, so that when I take off my bike shorts, I can hang them up and they can dry during the day, and then I can put them on. The other thing that I'm thinking about doing is wearing shorts when I go out to do this, shorts and a t-shirt when I go out for my walks in the morning, and then I can hang those, and I'll just bring a change of clothes with me. Maybe leave a pair of jeans there at work, or pair of pants, whatever I'm going to be wearing at work. Just because, when I'm not working with kids, I pretty much have free reign. No one else uses that bathroom. No one else is in the basement or the print shop. I know I'll be having lots of meetings over the summer, doing lots of things. But I really want to make sure this summer, it's like, I'm kind of building this summer up as my summer for fitness and health. And I'm hoping I'm not building it up too much. And I don't think I am. So just kind of making plans for self-care and taking care of myself. I noticed the other thing is that rehydration after my walk yesterday, and this is something I've noticed a couple of times when I sweat a lot. Rehydration is difficult. I'm still feeling a little dehydrated this morning. I did have a headache. Dehydration does mess with my blood sugar a little bit. So when I was at the Walmarts, I picked up another container of Noon Hydration, Sport Hydration tablets. I'm a little wary of the amount of plastic that's, it's like a 10 tablet sleeve. I wish they sold refills that, were in a bag so I could refill this tube instead of only selling tubes. So I'm just going to keep that in the car. I always bring a water bottle with me anyway. I do have a special water bottle at work that I use for things like hydration drinks and things like that. But I don't have it with me. Instead, I've got a McDonald's cup that I'm going to use for it. And I'm not sure what's the best way to rehydrate other than drinking lots of water. I drank lots of water yesterday and still felt dehydrated. And I know that these Noon tabs are basically salty water with a little bit of citric acid and stuff in it. Stevia, coloring and whatnot. They're tasty. I like the flavor of this one. So anyway, yeah, like that's another thing that I have noticed with the increased sweating as I work out. Rehydration is difficult, and I don't know if that's due to the type 2 diabetes. I don't know if that's due to the ribelsis. I do have an appointment next week with my diabetes specialist, so I am going to talk to her about that specifically. And I'm going to talk to her about the cycling. I don't know if she has any understanding of that or what that will mean for me and my diabetes, but I think it's important that I talk to someone about these things and about the nutrition aspect for it. I do think she's probably going to suggest I talk to a nutritionist again. So we'll see about getting a referral to talking to a nutritionist. And I don't know if that's going to be especially helpful. The last nutritionist I talked to from this particular medical provider was okay. Like, there are a lot of things that I try to avoid, or used to try to avoid, but I try to, so like, I try not to do aspartame and sucralose and things like that other than in diet sodas. I really am not a fan of that. So like, if I'm going to do an artificial sweetener, it's stevia, or like monk fruit extract or one of those. Not that those are any especially better than the chemical versions, or I say chemical, everything's a chemical. But I just feel better using something that's sort of naturally based out of, or plant-based, something that's plant-based. I feel better using a plant-based thing instead of lab-based. And that's just me. I don't know if that's me being in my right head or just being crazy. But so the last one, like the diabetes diet, and this is something I could probably do a whole vlog with. The diabetes diet that they suggested for me was heavily based in artificial sweeteners and artificial foods. And I'm not, like, I realized even back then that that's not going to work for me. Like, I need to make a wholesale change in my diet and the way I'm eating, not replace sugar with artificial sweeteners. And I mean, we also know now that artificial sweeteners also spike blood sugar. And I've got to do some like blood sugar tests when I have something with artificial sweeteners in it to see if it does spike mine, because I know it's not the same for everyone. But yeah, and so when I did meet with that nutritionist, that was like in early days of research or early days in reporting. So I'm not sure where that stands now. Anyhow, that was started out with a concise little report about cleaning up after working out when you got to go to work afterwards. And I also know that this summer I'm probably going to have to do my walks in the evening, not in the morning, because sometimes it gets real hot in the morning here. So anyway, with that, I'm going to go for my walk, and I thank you for watching this. If you made it the whole way through, even if you haven't made it the whole way through, thank you for watching. Thank you for your subscriptions. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support in whatever way you're supporting, the likes, the views, the thumbs ups. You know, all of that is super helpful, and the comments are really motivating. So thank you for helping motivate me. I really, really appreciate it. And like I always say, I'll see you next time.